Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and update show on the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Happy Friday, weekend ahead, and hopefully Manchester United will not ruin our weekend this weekend. It is Everton tomorrow, 12:30 early kickoff. Hate an early kickoff, I won't lie. I just feel like it's too early. I'm not in the mood to watch football till the evening, personally myself. But Everton have been very, very shit. Very shit Everton have been, which fills me with no confidence because whenever you think, oh, this is going to be an easy game, this is going to be an easy win for United, what do? We absolutely bloody bottle it. I tell you this now, Everton are so bad that I honestly think we'll drop points. I generally don't think we're going to win tomorrow because United will just drop points to the shittest teams. The thing is, like, if we're playing Arsenal tomorrow, I fancy us to win. If we're playing Chelsea tomorrow, I'd be like, it'll be United, classic United will win this. But for me, I feel like it's going to be classic United, and we are going to ultimately give Everton some points tomorrow. But we're going to talk about that more towards the end of today's show. I want to get into the news and sort of news around ERIK Ten Hag, of course. Who else? But basically, ERIK Ten Hag has big plans for Manchester United, and he's got these big demands. And, you know, ERIK Ten Hag to United is 99% done. The 1% that needs to be done is obviously an agreement with Ajax, but obviously Ten Hag needs to agree. Ten Hag wants to come. He's turned down other jobs. He wants Man United. Before Ten Hag agrees to join Manchester United, Ten Hag wants his demands to be met. His demands, obviously, that he's going to be fully backing. He's going to get the players that he wants. He's going to be allowed to sell the players he doesn't want. That he's going to be allowed to work with Rangnick. You know, we've got lots to talk about in today's show. When I say we've got lots to talk about in today's show, I can show you my notes. Let me show you my notes today. And all the quotes I've got. Oh, no, not that one. There's those quotes. But let me show you. Honestly, when I say we've got lots to talk about, I mean we've got lots to talk about. Like these are the notes. These are just quotes as well. You know, I just quote things and then I say what I think. But these are freaking quotes to go off. So we've got an action-packed show, and we're going to be talking, of course, about ERIK Ten Hag's demands. What does ERIK Ten Hag want at Manchester United? What is this current situation with ERIK Ten Hag? And also the potential for a new director of football at Manchester United. Paul Mitchell is one of the rumoured names to be director of football at United. He was obviously linked with Ralf Rangnick. I did a video, I'm going to say about 2 weeks ago, talking about Paul Mitchell to United, director of football. We know he's worked at, I think, Southampton, Spurs, Monaco, RB Leipzig. He's got a good CV, and he's someone we'd ideally love at United. I wouldn't put it past United to go and give someone like Gary Neville director of football. Actually, no, they won't give it to Gary Neville. He's spoken out about the Glazers. I wouldn't put it past United to maybe give like Rio a role at the club as director of football, but realistically, we should be giving it to someone like Paul Mitchell. Steve says Ralf getting close. We're also going to talk about Ralf Rangnick and his career at United, what's going to happen after the consultancy role. And Ralf Rangnick obviously did a press conference today, regarding the Man United Everton game. Ralf Rangnick was asked about Ten Hag in the press conference. And Ralf Rangnick also confirmed that Scott McTominay will not be available tomorrow. Luke Shaw will not be available tomorrow. Cavani will not be available. And Varane will not be available. I don't think Scott McTominay will be that big of a miss. I think we have our best games without him. Cavani, he's not been in all season, doesn't matter. I think Luke Shaw and Varane will be misses because I actually think they do stabilise the defence and all of that. Gaz says sunshine, Gary Neville, and Eugene says good evening, Alice. After seeing Romero's video earlier, I think United board are going to fuck up the whole Ten Hag situation, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about. So to sum up everything in a nutshell, and I think it was the United, it was not United, it was HTO on Twitter, really good analyst of football, go give him a follow, but HTO on Twitter basically summed up the situation very, very well. He said that he is very happy that Manchester United, ERIK Ten Hag is demanding a genuine plan and structure from Manchester United. If the deal breaks down, we all know it's due to power of play and him not being able to have a big say on the club's auctions, which is funny because that's something Poch would most likely wouldn't bring us. And I think HDO summed this up well on Twitter. The situation with Ten Hag is, if Ten Hag to Man United does not happen, the reason behind it will be because the club aren't willing to give Ten Hag the power he wants. Ten Hag, before he's accepting this deal with United, is saying, I want to have a say in transfers. I want you to change the structure of this football club. I want to be backed by the board. You know, Ten Hag, in his vision, wants to recreate the structure of Ajax at Man United. Ten Hag wants to be like Klopp and Pep. What Liverpool are given Klopp and what Man City have given Pep is what Ten Hag wants. He wants to be able to bring in the coaches. He wants to be able to bring people from Ajax. We're going to talk about potential names coming from Ajax and potential coaches and directors of football coming to United later in the show. But Ten Hag basically wants to say in the transfers. He wants to be able to bring in and sell who he wants. He wants, he wants, the club structure to change. He wants it to work similar to a top modern club. And if Ten Hag United falls through, it will be because United do not want to give Ten Hag the power. They ultimately would want to give Poch the power. And Fabrizio Romano confirmed everything today. Fabrizio Romano did a really good video today confirming everything. I'm going to quote the main quotes from Fabrizio Romano. I'm also going to quote some things from Samuel Luckhurst. But Fabrizio Romano said that Ten Hag wants to 100% be involved in all future transfer strategies, signings, outgoings, and contracts. The clear message is that Ten Hag only wants players at Manchester United that can execute his footballing ideas and, all of that, as the United faithfuls had said. So Ten Hag literally wants players that suit his style of play. He only wants players at United that want to be there. There are reports that some Man United fans are unhappy with Ten Hag. There's some Man United fans that are unhappy with the appointment of Ten Hag. And you know what? Get the fuck rid of them. If you're unhappy with Ten Hag, you need to get out of this club. Because if you're a Man United player and you don't rate Ten Hag, fucking hell, this is the next Klopp. This is the next Pep. Who are you to think, nah, Ten Hag only manages Ajax. He's not good enough to manage me. I want Pochettino. F off, because most of the players in this squad have been shit this season. They don't deserve a say in who the next manager is. So those Man United players going, I don't want Ten Hag to manage me. Absolutely go do one. Honestly, but yeah, let's get into the news. CL7 said that we love Ronaldo, and Andrew said if Ten Hag does not come, it's very damning on the club. At what point are they going to learn this way is not working? 100% correct that, Andrew. If Ten Hag does not come to Manchester United, it is because the board are not willing to give Ten Hag a say in the players he wants. The board are not willing to listen to Ten Hag, and the board will not change their structure. Ten Hag will come to United if he's allowed a say in the transfers he brings in and out. Ten Hag's already told United the transfers he wants. If Ten Hag's allowed the structure of the club to change, Ten Hag wants to be working with footballing people at the club, and Ten Hag wants to bring in the coaches that he wants. I'm going to get into all of the news and all of that. So the good story that came out today from Sky Sports is that Ten Hag has already had lots of conversations with Manchester United, and Ten Hag really wants to join Manchester United. But the most important thing to Ten Hag is power in transfers as well. That's what Sky Sports said. Sky Sports also said that Rangnick wants to stay at United. He plans to take up his job as an advisor in the summer. So again, Sky Sports confirming the news that, it's really important that Ten Hag gets the power. Ten Hag really wants to join Man United, but he wants to make sure he has power, and that Rangnick does plan on staying. Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News podcast said that Ten Hag has been the front runner for Manchester United for the last 4 weeks. So basically, from January to sort of March, Poch was the front runner for the Manchester United job, and in the last 4 weeks, after this Ten Hag interview, Ten Hag's become the front runner. And I think that makes sense, because if you look at January, February, it was more Poch orientated. And as we got into March, it was Ten Hag this, Ten Hag that, Ten Hag interview. And Samuel Luckhurst has confirmed that Ten Hag's been the front runner for the last 4 weeks, and that the deal's gained momentum. And Samuel Luckhurst said regarding Ten Hag to Man United, he's had an interview. He thinks it's basically done. Now, Samuel Luckhurst, a very, very reliable journalist, gets information straight from the club itself. He says that he believes that this deal is basically done, that's good information as well. And if this is the thing, this deal will happen as long as United don't fuck it up. And the only way, I tell you this now, if Ten Hag doesn't come to Manchester United, it's because we've told Ten Hag he cannot have power and he cannot have a say in transfers. Ten Hag will come, it will be done as long as Ten Hag's guaranteed a say in transfers. And so he can actually do a rebuild. Ten Hag's made it clear, if players don't suit his philosophy, he wants them gone. Not because they've got the United DNA and they play for the badge. If they don't suit his philosophy, they're gone. And will United give Ten Hag that? Well, we'll have to wait and see. If he gets the job, then they've promised Ten Hag that. Samuel Luckhurst, very reliable journalist, as I said that he'd be absolutely amazed if Ten Hag will not be the United manager. He said he thinks that Ten Hag will be the next Man United manager. He'd be absolutely shocked if Ten Hag isn't the next Man United manager. Samuel Luckhurst said that he's been speaking to people, and the feeling is that the deal is going to happen. Samuel Luckhurst speaks to people at the club. The feeling there is that the deal is going to happen. The deal is basically done. And also, Samuel Luckhurst spoke about when would Ten Hag be announced. We know that it's basically Ten Hag. There's a couple things to tie up, but we know it's basically Ten Hag. But When's it going to be announced? And Samuel Lucker said that he thinks it's going to be similar to the Jose Mourinho situation. United do not want to rush for the official announcement because Ajax is still in the title race. They're in a cup final with PSV, so they'll not want any distraction. So, we might delay the announcement of Ten Hag, which, you know what, is understandable. It's annoying as a fan because we want Ten Hag to be announced and all of that, but it is understandable. Let's say this Ten Hag officially coming. Ten Hag isn't officially coming. Ten Hag is like 90% coming, like very much going to come. Unless United fuck it up, Ten Hag is coming. Let's be real. And obviously the Manchester Evening News that said that Ten Hag has pulled absolutely clear of Pochettino in the race. But the squad can't come to an agreement. And this was the interesting story from the Manchester Evening News today, is that while Ten Hag is absolutely clear of Pochettino in the race for the job, that the Manchester United squad seem unhappy by this. Fuck them. They can be unhappy by it. Does not bother me. David Ornstein, again, a really, really reliable journalist. He went on the Football Daily YouTube channel and he said that it appears Ten Hag is the preferred candidate, but the deal is not done, as I understand. There's a lot that will need to be sorted, lots of conversations to be had. But again, David Ornstein, I think David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell are probably the best Man United journalists out there. I think they broke the news for Varane and Sancho. They don't lie. Like, they're like Romano, but they're more United orientated. They don't lie. And they said, look, it appears that Ten Hag is the preferred candidate, but they did say the deal is still not quite done, which, fair enough. Now, regarding Ten Hag, staff, plans and all of that, Fabrizio Romano obviously came up today, as I'm sure you guys are aware of, and Fabrizio Romano said that ERIK Ten Hag has asked Man United to be 100% involved on the present and future transfer strategies. He said new signings, outgoings, new contracts. He considers this to be a key point to rebuild. New signings have to be totally perfect for his idea and club project. So we know that Ten Hag and United have been constant conversations, and Ten Hag is basically, from what I interpret it from this, Ten Hag is basically saying what Klopp has done at Liverpool, what Pep has done at City, and Ten Hag wants to do that at Man United. But Ten Hag's not stupid. Ten Hag knows United is like a commercial club. Ten Hag knows that the way Manchester United is run, we don't give complete freedom with transfers. And Ten Hag's having these conversations with United, but he's saying to United, I want to be 100% involved on the present and future transfers. Ten Hag said, I want to be involved in the ingoings, the outgoings, the new contracts. He said that this is a key point in the rebuild. He wants to be able to sell players that don't suit his ideas just because they've got the United DNA. United have this thing of keeping players with the United DNA. If they don't, it doesn't matter if they have the United DNA. If Ten Hag doesn't want them, we get rid. It doesn't matter if we're going to make a loss. If Ten Hag doesn't want them, we get rid. It doesn't matter if we're not going to make too much money. If Ten Hag doesn't want them, get rid. And Ten Hag has made this very, very clear. And Fabrizio Romano's confirmed all the conversations going on with Ten Hag and United. And that is very much surrounded by the fact that Ten Hag wants to do this rebuild. Ten Hag wants to bring back the glory days to United. Ten Hag's dream is to be the next Sir Alex Ferguson. Ten Hag's dream is to do what Pep did at City at Manchester United. But Ten Hag knows that he can only achieve that if he's going to get the backing of the board, if the structure of the club's going to change. And, it's been 10 years of failure at Manchester United. It's been 10 years for the board to learn that their ways of commercial success over football success just does not work. It's 10 years for the board to slowly adapt. And I will give credit. Well, I'm not going to give credit to United. They don't deserve credit for this. But one thing I will say, in the last year and a half, United have tried to slightly move forward. I think the first 7 years under Woodward was absolutely embarrassing failure. And you do notice how, we're going to give Ralf Rangnick this advisor role. We do notice that John Murtagh and Darren Fletcher have this sporting director and technical role. Now, is Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh the right people for this role? Probably not. There are better people. But the fact that we've got a director of football and a technical director shows that United are slowly advancing. Obviously, Woodward's gone with Arnold in, but Richard Arnold's made it very clear that he wants to be responsible for the footballing side, for the financial side, and give his footballing duties away, which again is a step forward. And obviously, United are looking for a deputy director of football, and if we've got someone like Paul Mitchell, that would be really exciting. So, things that have happened in the last year and a half suggest that United is sort of developing as a club. We're still shit. The Glazers are still shit. The board is still shit, but we weren't as shit as we were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we're spending 150 million on Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Dan James. Last summer, we're spending less than 150 million on Varane, Sancho and Ronaldo. There's been an improvement in the last year, but we're nowhere near where we need to be and nowhere near where we want to be. Maybe United have learned from the last 10 years of failure that they need to modernise as a club. They need to copy City. They need to copy Liverpool. And, Ten Hag only wants to join if he knows that United are going to do his demands. Ten Hag's spoken about the players he wants out. And yeah. Diego says, I expect there will be a power struggle between the super football agents and Ten Hag incoming. I reckon Ten Hag will win those battles. Yep, hopefully that is the case as well. And Simon says, I want Donny to be man of the match and given a reality check to Ollie and Ralf. Look, I want Donny to be absolutely brilliant under Ten Hag and just make Ollie look like an absolute wally. But, you know, this is the thing. There are United fans that really hope Donny fails. I'm not lying. The thing is, there's a bit of a divide in the United fan base. You've got the I love British players, perfect Reds, what they call perfect Reds. You know, the ones that, you know, if you criticise a player, you're evil. You know, and then you've got the United fans that just see it how it is and they go, well, look, Maguire's British, Maguire's good at the World Cup, Maguire's been crap this season. Scott McTominay has a few good games, he's an academy player, but cool, what does he offer? You've got this big divide in the United fan base of fans that think that Scott McTominay is this club's saviour, Harry Maguire is this club's saviour, and that they want Donny to fail because they don't want to prove the other fans that Donny is a better player. You know, we've been saying, oh, well, I think Donny's better than Scott McTominay for a while on this channel, but there are United fans that really hope Donny comes back, fails under Ten Hag, and Ten Hag loves McTominay, which I think is stupid. I want McTominay to be brilliant under Ten Hag and prove me wrong, but I also want Donny to be brilliant under Ten Hag. You know, I'd love it if McTominay became a 10 out of 10 or best player under ERIK Ten Hag and prove me wrong. I'd absolutely love it. But there are United fans that actually want Donny to fail under Ten Hag so they can prove their point, saying McTominay was better all along. Stupid YouTubers and fan comers, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's absolutely absurd, isn't it? As well. Man United need Ten Hag because he's diverse and he's a modern manager. United need Ten Hag because Ten Hag is exactly, if City were losing Pep and Liverpool were using Klopp, Ten Hag is the manager they've gone for. Ten Hag, Nagelsmann or Flick. Nagelsmann's just joined Bayern. Flick is obviously unavailable. Enrique is unavailable. If City and Liverpool were in our situation right now, I guarantee you they'd be going for ERIK Ten Hag. So that is why, you know, that's why we need ERIK Ten Hag, reason one. The second reason we need ERIK Ten Hag is he's got actually experience in a rebuild. He's rebuilt 2 Ajax squads. He plays attractive and modern football. He's got a good history of developing youth, and he's won back-to-back trophies. You know, yes, it is the Eredivisie, but Ajax weren't always winning the Eredivisie when Ten Hag came in. You know, there are some good teams in the Eredivisie, and he's had some success in the Champions League. You know, you've got to look at it as Ten Hag is a modern manager with, you know, winning titles, completed rebuilds. Ten Hag's exactly what United need, and this is why I think that it's the right decision. Alice, all clubs have fans like that, says Neil. Yeah, I agree. Donny and Ten Hag combo. Ten Hag knows how to play Donny, says Scott. I think we will see Ten Hag over Donny. And Andrew says, I don't get it. We've had some great Dutch footballers in the last 20 years, like Ruud and Stam, and we get paid decent money for Donny, so why not support him? Exactly, Andrew. You're absolutely spot on. But regarding, obviously, the Ten Hag news, Samuel Luck has confirmed that ERIK Ten Hag has spoken about his transfer targets for the summer. We know ERIK Ten Hag has been watching a lot of Manchester United these last few months. We know ERIK Ten Hag has a rough idea from journalists of, you know, how he wants to do the rebuild. You know, Ten Hag has spoken to Man United about his ideas. We know from Fabrizio Romano that Ten Hag has told United he wants to bring in this coach, do this. Ten Hag spoke to United and said he will take the job, but only if he's guaranteed 100% say in incomings, outgoings, new contracts, future signings, present signings. You know, we know what Ten Hag wants at United, and Samuel Luck has said that Ten Hag has told United that the transfer targets that he wants and all of that. We also, when, you know, Samuel Lucas did this whole story about Carbon Phillips going to United and the fact that United were advancing for Carbon Phillips, you know, Samuel Lucas said that Ten Hag will have the right to veto the move if he wants. The problem with United is, what United like to do is United like to pick out the players that they want and then Ten Hag to approve them. United's strategy, like under Van Gaal, was we chose the players we wanted and then Van Gaal just said yes or no. Whereas I think ERIK Ten Hag wants to choose the players he wants. He doesn't want United to pick out a load of players and him say yes or no. ERIK Ten Hag wants to have a say in the players he wants. The good story coming in, and I think the more positive news coming in today, guys, is that Manchester United, according to James Duck of The Telegraph, is that Manchester United will make substantial funds available to ERIK Ten Hag this summer, even if the club miss out on a Champions League qualification. So lots of sources saying that United are going to give Ten Hag a big summer budget, even if we don't get Champions League. Obviously, reports coming in that Ten Hag will be allowed 4 signings. Ten Hag will have a budget of 200 million. That's obviously reports coming in. We know that Ten Hag is interested in Anthony and Timber from Ajax. We know that Neves has been linked. We know that Carbon Phillips has been linked. I think we're going to be thrown around with 100 names. I think regarding United and transfers, I think until the club officially announced Ten Hag, I can't really predict what the transfer strategy will be. There's rumours and reports about who Ten Hag's going for. There's rumours and reports about the budget, the key areas. It's made pretty clear that United want 2 midfielders, a striker, and possibly a centre-back. That's made very, very clear. But I think until Ten Hag's announced, we won't have an indication of what players that will be. You know, we get linked to Tchouaméni, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, Kamara, Hedera. I don't think we'll know what CDM that will be until obviously Ten Hag is officially announced, because then we can actually say, oh, this is what Ten Hag wants and all of that. An interesting story also came up from the Mirror that Ten Hag is expected to want to sign several targets, including Ajax defenders Yuri and Timber, as we know. But Ten Hag would also want a new striker and midfielder, which are positions that will obviously be addressed in the summer. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed United will sign a CDM and a young striker in the summer. That is confirmed. Now, this is the rebuild stuff. This is what the thumbnail's about. This is what the title's all about. Let's get into the juicy stuff. Before I do that quickly, before I get into the rebuild stuff and the interesting story that's come out today, really interesting story, please do hit that like button. Gaz has just put in the chat that we're on 94 likes. We are 6 likes away from 100 likes, guys. And also, I believe I'm like a couple subscribers away. Let me just check my subscriber count. We're on 31,596 subscribers. I'm 4 subscribers away from 31.6k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, you're welcome to subscribe. You don't have to, but I will be live tomorrow for Manchester United versus Everton watch long, and then I will be doing a match reaction after Manchester United versus Everton. Then Sunday will be a transfer news update show. Monday will be a news show. Tuesday will be a news show. Bish bash bosh. Just daily United news shows, watch longs, match previews, match reactions, and all of that. So you're welcome to subscribe. But let's get into the really interesting story. King Eric said, and if Ten Hag wants Ronaldo gone, I think that Ten Hag would keep Ronaldo for a season, but long term would want him gone. I did a video yesterday talking about the players that Ten Hag would want to keep and the players that Ten Hag would want to say. It's a tier list, so do check out yesterday's live stream if that's something you're interested in. But as I said, I was just looking at the chat. If I was one, said that Ten Hag said recently that he will not sign a contract to be a manager unless the board 100% back him. This is what we're talking about in today's video. If Ten Hag doesn't come to United, it's because United haven't promised him backing. That's the situation. Van Persie has rejected United. That has just come in as well. But into the juicy stuff. And this came out from iPaper Sport. Now, I'm not too familiar with this, but it was just a really good story that I thought I would read this out. So regarding rebuilds, so the first thing that iPaper Sport mentioned in their big story today is that Rangnick obviously made 3 backroom additions during his interim tenure. We saw Chris Armour, Sasha Lenz and Ewan Sharp join Manchester United, and all 3 will depart at the end of the season because they're on short-term contracts, what we expect. Now, this is the interesting story. ERIK Ten Hag's trusted head of performance, Alessandro Schonmacher, probably didn't say his name right, is potentially in line to join the backroom staff when he takes over at Manchester United. We're talking about potential backroom staff. Who would be working with Ten Hag? What's the rebuild structure going to be? And, you know, we're talking about Alessandro Schonmacher. Probably not how you say his name. I can't pronounce names. You know I can't pronounce names. But he is a name to be in the backroom staff. And he is the head of performance at Ajax. And Ten Hag trusts him. And Ten Hag's made it clear to United he will take the job, but he wants to bring in the coaches and the players that he needs, that he trusts for his philosophy of football. Schonmacher is currently the head of performance at Ajax, guys, as we know, but has substantial experience in English football. He's actually worked at Newcastle and Crystal Palace in a variety of roles related to performance, fitness, conditioning, and could follow Ten Hag. So Ten Hag's trusted assistant, who's head of performance at Ajax, has previously worked at Newcastle and Crystal Palace in a variety of roles. So English experience, which Manchester United are obsessed with. We're obsessed with this Prem English experience. So hopefully United will approve that, and Ten Hag clearly wants him. What's the interesting thing that's come out by iPaper Sport is that the finer details of Ten Hag's backroom staff and structure at Manchester United are yet to be finalised, but he will have room to bring in his, in capital letters, own men. So iPaper Sport have confirmed that Ten Hag will have room to bring in his own men. You know, we're going to get rid of Rangnick's backroom team. We're going to get rid of Ollie's backroom team. Mike Phelan is leaving United. Bish, bash, bosh. Nothing against Phelan, but he needs to go. The whole Ollie crew is going, and Ten Hag will be allowed to bring in his staff, which is brilliant. The fact that news reports are coming out saying that Ten Hag will be allowed to bring in his staff suggests that United might finally modernise the structure of the club and back Ten Hag. I don't trust United. I fully expect United to lie to Ten Hag, say they'll back him, say he can bring him he wants, and then throw Ten Hag under the bus and then sack him in 3 years, because that's what we do every manager, despite Ten Hag being a world-class manager that needs backing. I think if we appoint Ten Hag and we do exactly what Liverpool did and exactly what City did, we'll be back to the United that we deserve to be. The question is, will United do that? But apparently Ten Hag will be allowed to bring in the staff, which bish bash bosh on that. Obviously, Robin van Persie was linked to United, but it's come out from ESPN. Jan-Jost van Galgen from ESPN, again, probably didn't say his name right. He said, Robin van Persie has turned down the opportunity to become Ten Hag's assistant at Manchester United. He does not see this as an option at the moment due to a number of personal factors. Fair enough. I have nothing against Robin van Persie. For me, I'm not a big fan of bringing ex-players, and I think unless they'd have been brought in otherwise, if they weren't an ex-player, you know what I mean. But Robin van Persie will not be coming to Manchester United. But the thing I take from the story, and I don't know if you guys think like this, but the one big thing I take from the story here from ESPN is the fact that, you know, it really confirms Ten Hag is basically coming to United. The fact that we know stuff about Ten Hag's assistants and that Robin van Persie turned down the opportunity to become Ten Hag's manager. You know, if Ten Hag wasn't serious about coming to United, we wouldn't be hearing stories about his assistant manager turning him down. I always think that's a really positive indication. Obviously, we know from every single Tier 1 journalist, the deal is basically done, but it's not done yet. They're basically saying the deal is nearly complete, but it's not done. Because obviously there's still the 1% chance that the deal goes because United fuck it up. But fingers crossed, that is not the case. And Jan Jost van Galgon from ESPN, again, probably didn't say his name right, also said that Ten Hag wants to put together a new team at Old Trafford, and the likes of Steve McLaren and René Mullerstein and Peter Bosz have all been named as possible assistants. Again, haven't said those names right, haven't pronounced them right. You know I'm shit at pronouncing names. But Ten Hag wants to put together a new team at Old Trafford with Steve McLaren, René Mullerstein and Peter Bosz all having been named possible assistants. Basically meaning Mike Phelan, gone, get out of here, axe you out. He wants to completely, modernise the structure, bring his crew in, get rid of the old crew and, F you. iPaper Sport also said that Ten Hag is understood to have pinpointed the physical conditions of some players at Manchester United as an area that can be improved in his tenure. I clap him. He's already realised some of these players are not fit enough to play his football, and Ten Hag wants to come in and he wants to go, get your stamina out, get your work rate up, or fuck off, basically. Probably as well. So that is a really good story that Ten Hag is a god. Ten Hag is a god. We love Ten Hag. Ten Hag's an absolute god because basically what we've been told is Ten Hag is said to Man United, you're going to give me 100% say in incomings, outgoings for the present and the future. You're going to let me have 100% say in contracts. You're going to let me bring in the coaches and staff that I want. You're going to give me the backing. You're going to act like you're going to work like City. You're going to work like Liverpool. Ten Hag said this to United. I want this, this and this. I want backing. I want this club to be run properly. I want you to back me. Ten Hag's also been sitting there watching United and already writing down, oh, this squad isn't physical enough. Oh, this squad doesn't have the work rate. Oh, this is a problem with the squad. Ten Hag is doing his homework, man. He's writing down the players he thinks United needs, as we knew from Samuel Luckhurst earlier. But Ten Hag's also writing down the players going, oh, you know what? This guy ain't good enough. Oh, we need to work on this. Bish, bash, bosh. If United fuck up Ten Hag, we are done as a club. He is literally everything we want for a rebuild. He's just brought. He brings to us. Not only is he a modern manager with attractive football, he has 2 rebuilds he's successfully completed at Ajax. He's won trophies at Ajax. He's developed youth at Ajax. He's brought in a good system at Ajax. Ten Hag wants to bring Ajax to United. And to bring Ajax to United, he wants the people around him to do their job. He wants to bring in the coaches and assistants from Ajax. He wants to bring in some experienced people, but he wants the development around him at United to be modern like Ajax is, so we can progress as a club in this rebuild. He wants to say in transfers, but also Ten Hag is looking at United squad and going, yeah, fuck off probably. Yeah, fuck off probably. Or you've got to prove yourself, which is exactly what we need. If Ten Hag fails, we have to get the Glazers out exactly. I will back Ten Hag for 3 seasons, even if we shit. I'm going to give Ten Hag 3 seasons before I start saying Ten Hag out. I feel like I'm going to have to, because I just think this guy is perfect, and I think if he fails, it is not his fault. It is the fucking board, because every single manager at this club fails. Moyes is thriving at West Ham. Van Gaal's a good manager, and Mourinho's a good manager. They all fucked up at United because of the freaking board. Just throw them under the bus, destined to fail. If Ten Hag fails, I'm not going to blame Ten Hag. I'm never going to say Ten Hag's a bad appointment. I think Ten Hag's the perfect appointment. There's going to be United fans after Ten Hag loses 3 games saying, oh, I told you we should have got Poch. Oh, I told you we should have got Poch, which I'll be saying F off to. But I'm just going to have to back Ten Hag and just, you know what I mean. Norbert said that Ronaldo and Rooney's son and Van Persie's son are in the academy. I know, isn't that I was about to say a little freebie. That sounds a bit creepy, but you know what I mean. A nice group of 3 at United. Moyes deserves to win Europa. I'm not a West Ham fan. Obviously, I'm a United fan. I don't know. But I do want West Ham to win Europa League. And if we get a West Ham Barcelona semi-final, I'm going to do my first ever watch along on the second channel. I have a second channel, one with Alice. I don't upload consistently on it. I'm not going to lie. But I will do a watch along for Europa League and Champions League games as we get to the semi-final on that. So, bish, bash, bosh. Go check that out. Also, guys, before I get into the next story, the transfer news stories, Please do hit that like button if you haven't already. How many likes are we on in today's video? We are on 130 likes. Can we go for 200 likes on today's video? We're 70 likes away from 200 likes. We've got 270 people watching. So please do hit that like button if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. And of course, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. I'm going to be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Everton watch along. 12 o'clock UK time tomorrow. I know early kickoff horrific, but I will be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Everton watch along. So if that sounds like your thing, please do subscribe to the channel. As I said, it will be very, very appreciated. And of course, share the video if you're new and all of that, as you know. I do daily United content every single evening on the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with daily Manchester United news, content, updates and more, please do subscribe to the channel for daily United news, content, more and all of that. Back to the news though, regarding transfer news, the Mirror came out and said that Manchester United have informed those players who will be blocked from leaving. Basically, so there's players. Obviously, we know there's. There was a report that came out. It was a dressing room leak that came out 2 months ago that said 17 players wanted to leave Manchester United this summer. Now we know that Mata is 100% leaving, Cavani's 100% leaving, Pogba's 100% leaving, Lingard's 100% leaving, and I think Dean Henderson's leaving. That's 5 players that are leaving. Apparently, it's up to 17 players that want to leave United. I think that was a bit of an exaggeration, but that was a report. And apparently that, you know, obviously the players that contracts expire will obviously leave Manchester United. But apparently Manchester United have informed players that want to leave United that they're going to be given a chance to impress under Ten Hag and that they can't leave in the summer. The Mirror said that the hope is that this will provide a catalyst for United's underperforming players to deliver between now and the end of the season with a view of impressing Ten Hag ahead of his arrivals, which fair play to United. United have told the squad that, because we know that United have told the squad it's probably Ten Hag. The United squad know more than us. We're hearing stories that, you know, players in the United squad are frustrated because they don't want Ten Hag. But United is saying that everyone's going to be given a chance under Ten Hag, so you've got to impress now, which, you know, gives us reason to start playing. Top 4 is still possible. As Ralf Rangnick said in his press conference, top 4 is still possible at United, but we've really seriously got to up our game if we do want to get top 4 and all that. Guys, we are 1 subscriber away from 31.6k. We're on 31,599 subscribers. So I'm just saying, if you're not subscribed and, you know, you like United content, you like live streams and all that, do subscribe. Man United Analytics in the chat saying, big up Alice, Kante level work rate daily. Thank you very much. And Steve says we're on 125 likes, so let's push for 200 likes as well. And Steve said if Ten Hag comes, he needs at least 4 players, especially ones leaving. Yeah, obviously Ten Hag, Samuel Lucas did say last week United are expected to get 4 players. I believe it when I see it, you know, United. But I think realistically, we need a CDM 100%. We need a striker 100%. We probably need a box-to-box midfielder to replace Pogba. However, Donny could be that signing under Ten Hag, essentially. And we've got Mejbrin, we've got Garner. I think we need a right winger. I think we need a centre-back as well with Varane's injury record. And I think potentially we need a right-back. But I've been impressed with Delo lately that, you know, a few months ago I would have gone freaking out right-back's priority. Right now, I think, you know what, we've got bigger issues than right-back as well. So, yeah. Daryl says Ralph is the best. I still really like Ralf Rangnick. Obviously, some fans are turning on him. Shrakesh, probably haven't said your name right. Sorry about that, mate. Said, where would we end up this season? I think Europa looks tough and Ralf Rangnick is not to be blamed. I'm going to be real. I think we'll finish 6th. I don't back us. I can see us dropping points to Everton. I'm not going to lie. And Andrew says, outside Bruno, Varane, Sancho, David Gea and Ronaldo, any other senior player who wants to go can leave if they want, in my opinion. Exactly. I'm happy to keep Fred in that. I do like Fred. You guys know I like Fred, but as a bench player, I don't mind him starting games. I think he's one of the best we have. But I think Fred, I don't mind Fred, to be fair. Alice, I want some cringy skits again. You know what? Talking of the 3rd channel, the channel that I fucking haven't uploaded in months, I'm going to do a Q&A actually on that channel at some point and some more videos. Basically, I finish uni. Well, I finish uni technically next week, but I have assignments due until May and I've got loads of stuff to do until May. But I think come May time, mid-May, I'm going to be uploading regularly on all my channels a little bit more. Alice, will United sign Declan Rice? I doubt it. 150 million price tag. I think when we need at least 4 players, spending 150 million on Declan Rice, I think is absolutely crazy. Obviously, we know that players will not be allowed to leave United, said the Disco Mirror. But the Mirror said that Man United may ultimately be willing to let a couple players leave the summer once new signings have been made, but not towards the end of the transfer window. And James Ducker of the Telegraph said, apart from Declan Rice, Carbon Phillips, John McGinn, and Ruben Neves are believed to be the midfield options. So James Darker, our decent Telegraph, said that United's midfield targets are Declan Rice, Carbon Phillips, John McGinn, and Ruben Neves. They're not the worst names in the world. I think Declan Rice, Carbon Phillips, John McGinn, and Ruben Neves, they're all improved United. But what I don't like about these being our four midfield targets is they're all in the Premier League. Cool, they have Premier League experience. But I think United, in terms of value for money, really need to start looking outside the Premier League. And that's something that Ralf Rangnick expressed. Ralf Rangnick has a history of finding hidden gems. You know, Haaland, Firmino, Mane, freaking Kimmich, you know. United really need to start looking at the Premier League for hidden gems. I just think Declan Rice 150 million, Tchouaméni 50 million. Do you know what I mean? I just think go for Tchouaméni. For me, I think Declan Rice is brilliant, but Tchouaméni for me, I think, you know, this English Premier League experience thing we're obsessed with. I think value for money isn't worth it. Now, I like Ruben Neves, I like Basuma. I'd take them at United. John McGinn, I think he'd improve us, but I don't think he's the player we need. Carbon Phillips, again, I think he'd improve us. I think he'd be a decent signing, but I personally rather get Declan Rice. But for me, I'm looking at Tchouaméni. Kamara will be on a free. Just plays outside the Premier League. There's a good player in the Italian league, and I saw him play once, and I forgot his name, but it was a CDM, and I just thought he's good. I completely forgot his name. Obviously, James Ducker confirmed the 150 million price tag on Rice, and United believe that is too much and difficult to pull off. And he also confirmed that United are big admirers of Jude Bellingham. I don't think we're going to get Jude Bellingham. I'd like Jude Bellingham. In a dream world, I'd like United to sign Rodri off Man City. I'd like us to get Pedri off Barcelona, and Kimmich off Bayern. Not going to happen. Same with Declan Rice, really. Just that money is mad. And the last transfer story that came out, which I think is really, really interesting, again from James Duckett, is that Manchester United scouts were in Spain on Wednesday looking at Villarreal's Arnautovic Danjuma. And Danjuma was really, really good, and he was fasting as well, I believe. But I really like Danjuma because obviously we played Villarreal a couple of times, and he absolutely had the low on strings. Danjuma absolutely had the low on strings. He's obviously 25, so he's young, he's a good age. I think for a rebuild, you want to be targeting players 26 or younger. I think he's a decent age, he's a decent player. I wouldn't spend crazy money on him, but he does have 14 goals and 4 assists this season, Danjuma. He has 6 goals in the Champions League for Villarreal, which I think is really, really impressive. However, you know, obviously he's played majority as a centre forward, but I still think Danjuma is very left focused. And although I like Danjuma, I wouldn't say no to Danjuma at United. I just think he's very left-sided focused, and I think we need someone more right-sided. We need a striker and more of a right-sided one. We know Sancho and Rashford seem to be better on the left. We do need someone that I think is more right-sided focused as well. But he can play as a centre forward, and you know, 14 goals, 4 assists, 2,000 minutes played this season. That is basically a goal every 110 minutes, which is basically a goal contribution, nearly a goal contribution a game. Centre forward, left wing, and Villarreal. So he's a player I wouldn't be opposed to. We're only 35 likes away from 200 likes, so please do smash the like button if you have not already as well. And yeah, and also guys, feel free to subscribe if you're new. You don't have to subscribe, but I do daily United content on the channel, so every subscriber is really appreciated. The goal is 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. A bit of an ambitious goal, but you know, if you subscribe, it makes it more likely. I'm going to be live tomorrow at 12 for United versus Everton watch along, and then after Man United versus Everton again will be my match reaction. So if you're happy to stay tuned for that, please. Leonardo says that too early to get excited. I'm excited for Ten Hag, but if United fuck it up, then we're fucked. We're fucked long term. If Ten Hag doesn't come to United, there's one reason for it, and that's because we're not willing to back him, and that would show that we're just a Finnish club basically, and there will be a fucking mad ass rant if we fuck up. I'm going to be losing my crap if we don't get Ten Hag. I tell you this now, as well. United should sign Osimhen or Isaac. Look, I think they're good potential replacements as well. But I do like Danjuma, and I do think he is a good player. And I like Anthony as well. We know Anthony and Timber from Ajax. I do quite like the look of Elise at Crystal Palace. I have been watching a little bit of Crystal Palace. Quite nice to watch this season. I do quite like the look of Elise. And we could say, oh, we'll take Elise off and we'll give you Ahmed on loan. I really wish that loan deal of Ahmed Diallo to Crystal Palace had gone through in the summer, because I just don't think Rangers was the right move for him, and what Vieira's doing, developing young attackers, which is just such a shame as well. And all of that. Big up, Darren. Thank you for the little chat there, who's been a member for 4 months. Anthony and Timber. Yeah, that's his targets. Also, to all the members on the channel, this summer, I'm going to be doing some members-only live streams in the summer. Again, just everything after May, once all my assignments are in, there's going to be videos on all 3 of my channels regularly, and then I'm going to be doing a members-only thing twice a month as well. So you're going to have a few more perks as a member coming soon in the summer. Just thought I'd let you guys know that now. Donny would have been better served at Palace as well, says Andrew. I agree. And Diego says, you can't have my Elise, no way. He looks really good, young player. I've only seen him play a couple of times because he hasn't played loads, but whenever I've watched him play, I go, poof, he is good, isn't he? He is good. We are going to get into the Everton side of the preview in just a second. We're going to get into the Everton news, the team news and all of that. Daniel says Anthony, Tchouameni and Nunez would be solid signings. My dream transfer window would be Anthony, Tchouameni, Nunez, Kamara because he's on a free. So you just add a 4th one to that and Timber. And then we get rid of like Maguire and Wan-Bissaka and to raise those funds. That would be my dream transfer window. It's not FIFA and it's United. So probably not going to happen. But I like your suggestions there as well. What do you think about Salams from Napoli? I'm not too familiar with him, to be fair. The thing is, I barely watched Serie A this season. I've watched a lot of the Premier League. I've watched a bit of the Championship. I watched a couple of Ligue 1 games. I think because Messi, Neymar and Mbappe being in Ligue 1, it's just made it more exciting. I watched a bit of La Liga. Bundesliga, Serie A, fuck all this season. I used to watch the Bundesliga a bit, but fuck all this season. So I can't tell you much about Serie A players. When I do a video talking about a player that's from like the Serie A or the Bundesliga, I normally talk to someone that watches that league first and let them give me the info. Rafinha or Anthony asks, I think I'd rather have Anthony. I don't rate Rafinha that much, which unpopular opinion, he'll probably prove me wrong and all of that as well. Guys, please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Share the video and all of that. I do want to get it. Ooh, why is my laptop being? My laptop's just being really slow. But I want to get into some interesting stories, some interesting news, as we know. I want to get into the Everton preview. Regarding Everton, Varane will not be available tomorrow versus Everton. Luke Shaw will not be available. Scott McTominay will not be available. And surprise, surprise, Edison Cavani will not be available. In other words, water is wet. I mean, look, you don't even have to say Cavani won't be available. We know it. Ralf Rangnick had a press conference today, and Ralf Rangnick was asked about team balance in his press conference, and he said it's got to do with the kind of players we have available. We have quite a few strikers missing in the last couple of weeks. Oh, Cavani. I wonder why. Cavani don't care. In the game against Leicester, on top of that, we had Ronaldo not available for that reason. Rangnick also spoke about team balance. He said the other reason is focus. In the first couple of weeks, we put our focus more on being defensively stable and not conceding goals, which we did. And then Rangnick said at one stage, we also found out that then we needed to plan out of possession of ball and create more chances. Right now, it's about getting both parts right, which is true. United have gone through a bit where we've improved massively defensively under Ralf Rangnick, but then we couldn't create chances. And then we started creating chances, but we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net and all of that as well. Cavani collecting a check to the end of the season, says DJ. You're spot on. Cavani's asleep, mate, on that bench. Cavani, I just think is pulling. I think Cavani's just taking the piss. I generally think Cavani is 100% taking the piss. I forgot that it is Wolves Newcastle tonight, which will be an interesting game, to be fair. I actually think that, Wolves could finish above us this season, the way we're freaking going as well, to be fair. Honestly. What was I going to say? Let's get into the preview. Let's get into the news. Maguire out, people are saying. Cavani probably got knocked out of the box and says, gas. So we're going to get into a little bit of the preview. We'll get into the presser comments later. We'll get into Romano comments in a little bit of a sec. But how could United potentially line up tomorrow with the injuries? So I've spoken to someone that has given me a suggestion of how they believe that United's starting 11 will look tomorrow. No Scott McTominay. I think it's going to be quite easy to predict the 11. So let me just share my screen with you guys. So we obviously know that De Gea and Maguire. I've been told Harry Maguire starts tomorrow. Like that. I mean, look, like you can get mad all you want, but Harry Maguire is starting tomorrow, and David De Gea is starting tomorrow, and Lindelof is also starting tomorrow. Matic is going to start, which is good. It will be Fred, and it will be Bruno. Again, Rangnick ain't a big fan of Pogba. We'll probably see Delo over Wan-Bissaka. I just think Delo is better under Wan-Bissaka, and we know that Tellers will be starting tomorrow. Ronaldo returns. Even though Ronaldo is out of training, it's believed that he will start tomorrow. Sancho obviously on the left, and Rashford apparently is going to be given a chance on the right. So the lineup, I believe, will look something like this. This is my predicted lineup. I actually think, because Ralf Rangnick doesn't like to play Matic a lot, and I think because it is Everton and they have been shit lately, we could maybe even see this. We could maybe see this tomorrow, which, you know, and if you put Maguire in for, if you put Varane in for Maguire and Shaw in for Tellers, I believe this is our strongest lineup right now. We could potentially see this lineup tomorrow because I think, as shit as Everton have been, it fills you with confidence that we should go and get a result, and that Ralf Rangnick knows that we need 3 points. He knows a point's not good enough, and I think that we will go quite attacking. So I believe that this could be the lineup tomorrow. I would put Pogba or Elanga on the right. I believe that Rashford's going to get a start. I actually don't. That Rashford wasn't good when he came off the bench. Let's be honest, but he wasn't god awful. You know, when Rashford came off the bench versus Atletico Madrid, he was god awful. He looked a little bit brighter when he came off the bench the other day, and he almost could have scored a goal. And I just have a feeling Rashford will get a start. I think, you know, he's had that break. He's been training well. I just think that, you know, Everton would be a good game for Rashford because Everton are shit defensively. They really are shit. Michael Keane and Holgate really shit defensively. Everton, they get caught out a lot defensively. But I think that'll be a good game for Marcus Rashford. If he's coming up against one of the most wobbly defenses in the Premier League, it should make it easier for him. And I think Rashford is a player that just needs confidence. And I just think a goal or two versus Everton, and that would give Rashford a big boost. And I would personally start Rashford versus Everton because I think it'd be the type of game, Everton and Norwich. You know, 2 easy games, Everton and Norwich. We say easy games. Man United will not make it like an easy game. We'll probably be 0-0 in the 80th minute and struggling. Same against Norwich. But Everton and Norwich being easiest games, I think with Rashford, you need his confidence. And, you know, with the lack of wings we have, and Elanga isn't the quality, but he's got the work rate, which Rashford doesn't offer. I think we have to go in and just, you know, give Rashford that chance as well. We're only 10 likes away from 200 likes. The goal is to hit 250 likes by the end of the live stream. We've got over 250 people watching. I really do want to hit 250 likes. So please do hit that like button if you haven't already. Georgie says, knowing how United play, we might just draw this, knowing our luck. Alison, look, I agree. Sorry, George, not Georgie there. And I would put Elanga rather than Rashi. I just think this would be a good opportunity for Rashford, but it could be an unpopular opinion. Everton could go down. Never thought I would say that. Oh my God, man! If Everton go down, I would be a bit sad. I think Everton will be the biggest club ever to get relegated from the Premier League. I think if Everton went down, that would be madness. I don't want Everton to go down. They're a big club. I want fucking Burnley to go down. You don't understand how much I want Burnley to go down. Burnley, Watford, and Norwich can fuck right off. Honestly, Burnley, Watford, and Norwich can fuck right off. I want them to go down, not Everton. Honestly, I'm always like, I don't like. It sounds weird, but you know, like Leeds. You know how like Leeds are our rivals. I love Leeds being in the Premier League because not only is Leeds guaranteed 6 points every season, they are at the moment, but I like the rivalry, and I quite like having big teams in the Premier League. Like the teams that I feel like deserve to be in the Premier League be in the Premier League. So like for me, I would like to see Sheffield United come back up. I think they're a big club. I'd love to see Forest come up. You know, Nottingham Forest are actually 5th, and they've got 2 games in hand on the team above them. And if Nottingham Forest win their 2 games in hand, they would be on 70 points, which would put them 3rd, only 2 points behind 2nd in the Championship. But I'd love to see teams like Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, even Sheffield Wednesday, they're down in League One though, come up as well. I'd also like to see Derby stay up. Derby could stay up, to be fair, but I just think it's a little bit unlikely, but it would be nice as well. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think, I thought Everton would be too big to get relegated, but it would be crazy. Gaz says, I hate Burnley. Guys, smash a like if you hate Burnley. I feel like everyone hates Burnley. I remember the In-Betweeners movie. He goes, I like football, but not Burnley. It's just, I feel like it's a thing that everyone hates Burnley as well. Wigan are a big club. Wigan, Bolton, when I growing up, you had Wigan, Bolton, Blackburn in the Premier League, and look at them now. You know, it's mad to think that these teams that were once in the Premier League are nowhere near. I remember Birmingham City were in the Premier League once growing up. You know, it'd be nice to see a lot of the teams that were in the Premier League when I was younger. Fulham are one more game and they go up. Yeah, Fulham are basically going up. They've gone down and they went straight up. Fulham are finding it way too easy in that league. I do like the Championship. I do watch a bit of the Championship. If I had to watch a league that wasn't the Premier League, I'd watch the Championship over the Liga. I just like it. I do. I think as well, if a Man United player's on loan somewhere, it gives me motivation to watch them. Like I watched Everton when Donny's playing. I'll watch Notts because James Garner's playing. It's like if the United player's there, I actively feel like I'm more likely to watch that team as well. Mark Ogden has said on Stretford Paddock regarding the announcement of the next Manchester United manager that it all depends upon the situation and time. It depends on what suits the people involved from Manchester United. They don't want to wait until June as well, which fair enough. And Mike Way, a very, very reliable journalist, says, as of now, there's no agreement, but chances are still high. Erik Ten Hag is demanding a lot from Manchester United. He wants the job, but only if his terms are decided. He wants to be able to remove players from the current squad and decide new signings. Again, as we know, Mike Way is like a really, really reliable journalist. He's like a tier 1 Ajax journalist, and he's come out and basically confirmed what Romano said, is that, you know, Erik Ten Hag is going to demand a lot from United. Erik Ten Hag wants his conditions to be bet by Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag, as we know from Mike Way, has some very, very high demands from Manchester United. He wants backing, he wants this, he wants that, and he's only going to join United if Erik Ten Hag, if he feels that those demands can be met. So big up Ten Hag, because, you know, he's serious about coming to United. He wants a serious rebuild. If I was one that he would have liked Koulibaly a few years ago, yes. Right now, I'm not bothered about him. And Sunderland are doing okay in League One, but they've been up and down. What is League One looking like? I'm actually going to look at League One now on Google. League One. Sunderland, because I watched that documentary on Sunderland, how they're so close to going up to the Championship, but they always bottle it. Sunderland, they could maybe go up, but yeah, Sunderland. I can't believe Sunderland are in League One. Then you look at League One here, and we've got some really tiny clubs like Lincoln City. That's a small club. Morecambe isn't a big club, is it? Cambridge isn't a big club. And then you've got Sheffield Wednesday, Wigan, who are quite big clubs, Sunderland and Bolton, you know, and Portsmouth. I mean, they were in the Premier League One. They're all in League One. I think it's always crazy with English football how you've got these teams that were like massive teams, like now sitting in like League Two, I'm thinking, or League One. I mean, if you look at League Two, you know, they've got some absolutely tiny teams in there, like Salford, only founded a few years ago. It's crazy to think that some tiny teams are at the same level as teams that were once in the Premier League, in terms of that suggestion. Let me just go down to the bottom of my chat. Guys, as said, please do hit that like button. The goal is 250 likes. We are currently on 205 likes. We're 45 likes away from 250 likes. We've got 250 people watching. So if you're watching right now and haven't hit that like button, it'd be really appreciated to see if we can hit the like target. And of course, subscribe if you're new. I will be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Everton watch along. And then also tomorrow, I will be doing a match reaction after the game. And then Sunday will be more transfer news updates and more for you guys. So if that sounds like your thing, you are welcome to subscribe to the channel, because there'll be match reaction and there will be a watch along tomorrow. Fabrizio Romano, as I said in yesterday's live stream, Fabrizio Romano went on 5 Rio Ferdinand's channel, and Romano said a key point for Ten Hag is to make sure he decides things together with the board. Fabrizio Romano reiterating what Mike Way said, is that, you know, Erik Ten Hag has demand. Erik Ten Hag knows the transfers he wants, but Erik Ten Hag wants to, you know, make sure he decides on things together with the board, that stuff is not decided with the board. Romano confirmed that Manchester United and Ten Hag are talking about the power of decisions that he will get. He is used to working like this at Ajax. He wants to make sure that he's involved in the decision-making process. United have failed with their most recent managers for not involving them in the decision-making process. Erik Ten Hag wants to make sure he's got a say and all of that as well. Andrew just put in the chat that Forest won 2 European Cups, which became the Champions League. They need to come back up. Exactly. Bigger club than City Knots are. Abraham says, what's the situation with agreement? Any update? No, agreement situation, guys, is unchanged. We won't be talking about agreement until the situation is changed, and all of that. I know his bail expires April 30th. He might not be found guilty, and that's when we have conversations about does he return to United and that. But I think it's you know, it's under investigation, these allegations. We know nothing about it. He will either be dropped because there's not enough evidence, he's found guilty, or he's not found guilty. It's a difficult topic because, you know, people want him back in the fan base, and people, even if he's found not guilty, don't want him back as well. I hope Blackburn and Luton get promoted to the Prem. Oh man, Luton in the Premier League, their ground is such a shithole, isn't it? I just saw videos of Luton's ground, and I just thought, imagine that in the Prem. I think it would be. To be fair, like, I'm a little bit like, I almost want Luton to get promoted for the banter, because I just think it'd be really, really interesting, to be fair, to see Luton promoted. I just think it'd be a bit interesting, wouldn't it? I don't think Blackburn will get promoted, but it'd be interesting to see Blackburn back in the Prem. Bit of a derby, Man United, hopefully a smash up Blackburn. It'd be absolutely hilarious. But yeah, definitely as well. We've obviously got Wolves, Newcastle tonight. Let me know your score predictions. Garnacho has put Manchester United 1-0 up against Chelsea's under-23s. We spoke about Garnacho, Alejandro Garnacho, a lot in yesterday's live stream. Absolute baller. You know, as I said, I'm doing a watch-along April 30th for the Man United Youth Cup final, where Garnacho is going to be smashing it in, hopefully, as well. And he's just gone 1-0 against Chelsea. Garnacho is having a season. I think he's a player that I could see Ten Hag working. I think Ten Hag is going to get best out of Garnacho. Garnacho, I'm not going to Kobe or Kobe, whatever you want to call him. Just players in the youth academy that, wow, obviously Medbury and Garner are players I'm excited to see what their future holds and all of that. Steve thinks the Wolves are going to win 2-0. Elanga or Garnacho, Alice? I'd take Garnacho. I think Elanga's the harder worker and Elanga's a bit more developed now, but if you're going in terms of potential, Garnacho's potential is a ceiling above Elanga's potential. Like, that is the situation, which is absolutely crazy. Like, people don't realise how crazy good Garnacho is. Interesting thing that Ralf Rangnick spoke about was actually what he will be doing next season. He said that he has agreed a contract to become an advisor next season. So Ralf Rangnick will not be getting that director of football role. You know, it's more likely to go to an ex-player. And obviously Rangnick was asked about ERIK Ten Hag in his press conference today, and Ralf Rangnick said that he doesn't intend to speak on possible managers, which is fair enough. You know, Rangnick's not allowed to say anything. What can we expect Ralf Rangnick to say in the press conference? You know, it's not his stuff and all of that. Let's get in though. Let's get into the score prediction bit. Obviously, you can let me know your squad predictions as well. This is my prediction for Man United versus Everton tomorrow. But I'm really intrigued to know you guys' score predictions to United Everton. My head is telling me it's going to be 1-1. Like, my head is telling me United Everton is going to be 1-1. But Everton is shit. Spurs put 5 past them. They did also beat Arsenal 1-0. I'm going to say United are going to win 2-0 versus Everton. I just think this Ten Hag boost means that the players are going to have to impress. Ten Hag will be watching the game. The players are going to have to impress. So I'm going to say we're going to win 2-0. But a part of me goes 1-1. Steve says 1-1. Scott Coulter says 2-1. Diego says 2-2. But only if Everton score first. He's flip and flop between 2-2 and 2-0. If I was one, said 4-0 United. David Lee says United will win 4-2. Do I watch TV football? No, but I know it's a good channel. Kumaran says I'm going 2-1 United. Yeah, I think 2-1, 2-0 United. My head says 1-1, but I'm going to go 2-0 United and say clean sheet, even though we've got no Varane. Alexander says Hannibal and Garnacho were amazing in the under-23 games against Leicester this week, and obviously Garnacho's just scored in the under-23s game against Chelsea today. Gaz says I think we'll win 2-0, but it will be a shit game. Yeah. And Andrew says, wouldn't any player knowing a new manager was coming in up their effort? Yet this lot is still at testimonial level. Exactly. This, you know, it's annoying. We've got a new manager coming in, and then players have got to prove themselves, and they're playing absolutely bang average as well. And Ibrahim says 2-1, Ronaldo will bang. I think with Ronaldo being back, there'll be more goals. Someone said Bruno hat-trick. I don't see it, but it is possible. You know, I remember someone said Ronaldo get a hat-trick, and I went, nah, he won't. And then he got a hat-trick versus Spurs. So it definitely is possible. If our striker is not selfish, it will be 3-1. I don't think the striker can be selfish when he gets very little service at United. But I do see your point there as well. Guys, I am going to wrap up the live stream here now, by the way, but I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in today's live stream. If I didn't address one of your live chats, I do apologise, but I will be live tomorrow for the watch-along, and I do interact with my live chat a lot during a watch-along. So any questions you have for me that I didn't answer in today's video, if you're subscribed with the post notification bell on, go feel free to put in my watch-along. I'll try and talk to you guys in my watch-along tomorrow. I will be live at 12 tomorrow for the Manchester United versus Everton watch along, and then after the game will be a match reaction. So please do subscribe for that if you're new. Of course, hit that like button, share the video. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow night as well. Big up everybody in the chat. See you later. Bye Z.